Good morning. And welcome to the First Universalist Church of Rochester, where we are called to nurture the spirit and to serve the community. It is such a joy to be with you all this morning on this early spring morning here in Rochester. I think I saw the sun peek out just a little bit while I was on my way in. Those of you who just came in, yeah? Yay. I am Reverend Lane-Mairead Campbell. I am your minister here at First Universalist Church, and I use they, them pronouns. And I have to tell you that today, our service especially is a labor of love as we are pulling together some fantastic worship for you all with three of our staff members being out sick this morning. So I want to lift up some deep gratitude this morning to Theo Munson on piano using she, her pronouns. Thank you, Theo. To Nicholas, who's going to be directing our choir using they, them pronouns this morning. Thank you. To our fantastic worship associate, Dolores Lamba, who's going to be joining us using she, her pronouns, leading worship this morning. To Jack Cunningham, using he, him pronouns, doing our online ministry. To Karen Labraco, using she, her pronouns. If you see Ed Deller out there in the hallway, please give him an extra thanks, as Ed is covering for Albert today and was running around with a vacuum cleaner earlier. We're just making it work together, y'all. Here we are. This is what we do. If you are here this morning for the first, second, or third time, we especially welcome you. Thank you for making it here this morning. Thank you for coming to this worshiping community, whether you're joining us online or whether you're right here in this sanctuary. We are so grateful that you are here today. There is a visitor's form that can be filled out either on the back of your order of service or by clicking the link in the chat. If you're joining us online, please fill it out so we can offer you a welcome beyond just what we can offer here in just a second. This morning, I want to introduce Howard Spindler, who's going to come forward and offer our stewardship testimonial. Thank you so much, Howard, for doing that, followed by Steve Munson, who's going to offer a brief word of gratitude.
Good morning. I am Howard Spindler. I serve on the Eco-Justice and House Committees here at First Universalist, and I am also active in the music program, but not this morning. This morning I'm just talking. I offer a few reflections on why I support this church with my time, my energy, and my money. Our church embraces music, and I was drawn here initially because I felt supported as a musician. Think of the building, the acoustics, the instruments, our excellent music every Sunday, even when the music director is out. The concerts we present. We spend a lot of money on our music program, both for our own family here in-house and for the greater community. I pledge to support that. Our church embraces sex and gender diversity, and as a queer person, I feel supported by our open-armed acceptance of all. We do not offer easy answers to complex questions about sexuality and gender. I love that our little congregation makes a big showing at the Pride Parade every summer. Sure, that's a small gesture, but it is packed full of significance, and I pledge to support that. Our church embraces growth through grieving, and I have always felt supported here in times of grief, as well as in happy times. I appreciate the boxes of Kleenex in all the pews. I haven't seen this in other churches. I remember Reverend Martha Munson saying, "If you can't cry in church, then where can you cry?" Amen. And I pledge to support that. Our church embraces change. This, I think, is the big one, and it applies to this congregation and to the greater UUA. The fact that our church has a commitment to regularly re-examine our beliefs and policies as the world changes is very important to me. It is a far cry from the suffocating smugness of the Protestant church that I was raised in, and I pledge to support that, even when it's messy. Those are a few reasons I pledge my support to this church. Above the double doors leading up here from the Clara Barton Lounge is the motto, "Love, not fear," is spoken here. This rings so true to me. Although I am at best a reluctant capitalist, I am really happy to be able to make this investment in love.
Hi, everybody. As you know, today is Stewardship Sunday. And as co-chairs of the stewardship effort this year, Theo and I thought we would like to offer a couple of words of thanks. She's otherwise occupied at the moment, and so I'll be doing the talking. Theo and I are big believers in acknowledging and thanking those who work for the church. Many in our congregation have been very gracious in thanking us for our work as stewardship co-chairs. And we want to extend that gratitude. When we took on this role, we discovered that there is a very big and functional team that supports stewardship. So let's take a moment to thank them. Ann Rohde, Bill Jones, Brian Moomey, Carl Abbott, Karen Labraco, and Grant Fish. Our beloved Lane-Mairead Campbell seems to have developed the capacity to be everywhere at once. And with that capacity, she added her ideas and facilitation to our group. But what you may not know is that Marcy Klein, behind the scenes, edits the brochure, and of course Emma Barry prints it and does a lot to support us. But most importantly, it is our congregation who are filling up the financial heart of stewardship this year. As you can see, our heart at this moment is pumping right now at about 50% capacity. We are confident that after today, it will be functioning more robustly. If you have brought your pledge things with you, you can deposit them in the plate at offering, or there will be a basket in the Clara Barton Lounge after. As stewardship chairs, Theo and I are just the point people for this generosity of spirit of our beloved community. On behalf of all of us, we thank you.
Thank you all. Dear ones, we know that there is a deep love here in this space, a love that can be felt hopefully upon your first visit here, or if this is your 100th visit here to this congregation. Let us make that love manifest with one another. Before we turn to offer a loving greeting to our neighbor, let us connect our online and our in-person worshiping communities. If y'all in here in the sanctuary could turn towards Hope and offer a wave. We are so grateful to be here worshiping as one community, both online and in person. Glad you all are joining us from wherever you are. Please rise in body or in spirit to offer a greeting here, or pop into the chat if you're joining us online this morning. Dear ones, let us sing, let us sing, let us sing. Let's sing this morning. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1010, We Give Thanks. It's possible that Brock added another verse in here too, so let's play it a couple of times through if you don't mind, Thea, this morning. Let us join in singing. It's in your teal hymnals if you'd like, or the lyrics will be up on the screen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Isn't it nice how on such a dark and gloomy day, just a few minutes and some music makes us feel better, even though there may be something still missing. We have the name of this poem is not listed here. It's called The Longing for Something More. It's by Gretchen Haley. And it talks about those other things. What happened? Okay. All right. I may have to crouch down here. Every little thing that breaks your heart is welcome here. We'll make a space for it. Give it its due time and praise for the wanting it represents, the longing for something more, some healing hope that remains not yet. We promise no magic, no making it all better, but offer only this circle of trust, this human community that remembers, though imperfectly, that sings and prays, though sometimes awkwardly, this gathering that loves, though not yet enough. We're still practicing. After all, still learning, still in need of help and partners, still becoming able to receive all this beauty and all these gifts we each bring. Come, let us worship together. Would Shirley Malone come forward and light the chalice? As she lights our chalice at First Universalist Church, and you light a chalice in your own homes, will you join me in saying our chalice words in unison? May we be a people of welcome, here to grow in heart and mind and spirit, and may we reach out to serve our community. May we stand now and recite our affirmation of faith, rise in body or spirit, followed by our through this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the source and meaning of life. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all. We will now sing in our offering, What We Need Is Here.
Beloveds, we come together this morning to celebrate love, to keep love at the center of all that we do. And love is why we give, why we ourselves are generous. Love is how we decide where to be generous with so much, but especially with our money. When you give this morning, you are supporting a church and a community seeking to live out love within and beyond our walls. You are supporting a church that loves our neighbors, whether they are housed or not. You are supporting a church that is seeking to grow through and with love. So please, please be generous this morning. You who are here in person are invited to drop an offering in the offering basket, as well as your pledge cards if you have not yet done so. If you are a visitor, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. You are invited to give online by scanning the QR code in the back of your order of service or clicking the link in the chat. Thank you so much for your generosity this morning. Absolutely beautiful choir. Thank you so much this morning. It's just perfect. Our story this morning is a story called The More You Give by Marcy Campbell and Francesca Senna. Once, there was a wide open field and a boy who loved his grandmother, who loved him back, and they were happy. The grandmother gave the boy many gifts, like big hugs and bigger laughter and the very biggest Sunday morning pancakes. Did anyone have some of those this morning? Anybody? But she had more to give. Small gifts, like acorns, tiny and shiny with wild and woolly caps. Most of the gifts she gave to the boy were ones that he could not hold in his hands, like all of her wisdom about how things grow. The boy watched and wondered until one day, oh, thanks, Marty. When will it be bigger than me? He asked as he dreamed of swings and secret spaces. In reply, his grandmother gave him another gift: patience. The boy had a birthday and the tree reached his knees. The boy had a birthday and the tree reached his shoulders. How did that happen? The boy's grandmother had a birthday and he gave her many gifts, like a poem, a picture, a crown, and most of all, his love. And she loved him back. And they were happy. Until one day, slowly, happiness spread its roots again. The boy's grandmother had taught him to ask for help when he needed it. And so, remembering, he did. He watered and weeded while he watched and wondered. He grew tall with wondering, still dreaming of swings and secret spaces, but not for himself. Once, there was a not so wide open field and a girl who loved her father, who loved her back, and they were happy. The father gave the girl many gifts, like piggyback rides and plump strawberries and bedtime stories about his grandmother. He also gave the girl acorns, tiny, shiny things with wild and woolly caps. But he had more to give, like all of his wisdom about how things grow. When will it be bigger than me? The girl asked. And he explained how love, even when given to the smallest of things, can spread up and out and grow bigger than she could ever imagine. Together, they watered and weeded, and in time they found shade, a home, and strong, thick branches that were perfect for, They watched and waited and wondered. The girl grew and the trees grew, and their love grew and spread up and out while the girl dreamed of secret spaces, but not for herself. Once, there was a field dotted with trees and a boy who loved his mother, who loved him back, and they were happy. The boy's mother gave him pancakes made from her great-grandmother's recipe, topped with strawberries from her father's patch, and hugs and laughter and piggyback rides and bedtime stories about how their family and its love of green growing things, about their family and its love of green growing things. The boy's mother gave him acorns, and together they planted and watered and weeded and watched and wondered. From their secret place, which wasn't very secret, the boy and his mother shared their wisdom with anyone and everyone about how things grow, like trees and people and kindness. The boy always had more love to give, and he got love in return. Was it bigger than him? It was. It was much bigger than he had ever imagined. And that is why he was happy. Once there was a forest and a community. The end. This is our story. This is this place's story. Dear ones, as our children prepare to make their way upstairs, we have one thing to ask before you go. Did anyone bring any food this morning for our food in gathering? If folks did, Henry and Charlie, and is Lily with us this morning? Would y'all be willing to maybe grab some food from some folks here in the pews before you go? We've got people raising their hands. If you wouldn't mind grabbing food from these folks and bringing it up, that would be fantastic. So come on up here, I'll show you. This is the food that we bring to Nestor Street Food Cupboard every second Sunday. Here, come on over this way, y'all. We'll grab some food this way. Looks like we've got a big bag from Connie here. Would one of y'all be willing to carry this forward to our basket? Would you be willing to take this one, Charlie? Thank you. And Henry, this one looks like it's full of cans. Maybe you could take that one. Yeah, thank you. Bring them forward. Come on. Fantastic. This goes to our food cupboard over on Nestor Street to feed our hungry neighbors. Thank you so much for helping us out this morning. Yeah, please do. That would be great. Thank you. Awesome. As we prepare our hearts for joys and sorrows, and as our children make their way upstairs, let us sing our doxology. Dear ones, I want to just invite us to take a breath in and out as we settle into the love of this community, as we settle into the caring embrace of this space, as we prepare our hearts for this reverent time of sharing joys and sorrows. If you would like to, you can place a hand over your heart to be able to listen from a heart-centered, heart-grounded kind of a place this morning from wherever you are. As Dolores places stones into the bowl, I will read aloud the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. All online are also invited to share your joys and sorrows in the chat, and we will read them aloud here. Dear ones, we have many celebrations this morning, so let us prepare our hearts for joy. We have a joy this morning from David D'Amico, who has been asked and has accepted to be a board member of the Leroy Historical Society, aka the Jello Museum, in the role of collections educational consultant starting in May. Congratulations, David. We have a joy this morning from Barbara Brody and Connie Volk that this past Sunday, 200 postcards were written and distributed from writing at home to get out the vote for congressional elections in Georgia, right here at First Universalist. We have a joy this morning from Hal Bauer and Gail Mosher from their Genesee Valley Farm. They are happy to announce that last Wednesday, their third grandchild now in 3 years, Anika Rose, was born at the NYU Medical Center in New York City. Both her and her mother, our daughter Emily, and father are doing well at their place across the East River in Brooklyn. We share a joy this morning also from the tech desk from Michael Scott. Delighted to have a beautiful new roll-top desk for our tech equipment. And we share gratitude this morning for Ed Deller, Evan Losh, Charlie Kortzel, and Brendan Kortzel for helping carry it into the sanctuary. We share a joy this morning from Kitty Forbush that our church hosts Eastman at Washington Square. Incredible talent from Eastman. What a gift to fill this place with music. And we share a joy from Dick Gilbert this morning, who's proud to announce that Joyce Gilbert will be giving her religious odyssey tomorrow afternoon to the Unitarian Universalist Retired Ministers and Partners Association. The grandson, Sam, recorded her Zoom presentation for the fall gathering, and so how delightful, Joyce. What an honor. We share a joy this morning from one of our members. It was so wonderful to have my son with me for the entire week around the eclipse. I'm assuming that's from Karen Labraco, who had her son in town. I'm sure many of us are joining in the joys of getting to have family and friends here for the solar eclipse and for the totality. We also hold space in our hearts for sorrow this morning and for grief. And so I share a sorrow this morning from Jillian Beeman. Jillian's partner, Tom Held, lost his brother, Paul Held, this past Wednesday. And so we hold Tom and all who knew and loved Paul in our hearts this morning. We hold today that we are a church that is worshiping in a time of war. We acknowledge the wars and the conflicts that are happening in Israel, Palestine, the Ukraine, the Congo, Sudan, the more conflicts and wars happening that we are not even aware of. And we grieve the losses of life, both on behalf of the military members who have service to our country, the military members who serve in a time of war, and of course, the people, the civilians, the hostages, the families, the men, the women, the children who are dying our world over due to war. We earnestly pray for these wars to cease. This morning, we light a white candle to acknowledge the grief that we feel in these times of war. May this candle's flame connect us to those who are grieving in these spaces and beyond. May we connect our grief to the larger grief that is felt by those directly impacted by war and conflict and violence. And we also this morning light a yellow candle to acknowledge the joy that continues to carry those who are in the midst of war, those who are in the midst of conflict through difficult times. Wherever joy can be found, we hold gratitude for it. Let this also be a life force that connects us in both our grief and our joy. We will hold a moment of silence together to honor all of the losses, all of the lives lost this past week due to war. We are reminded this morning that all of us are held in our grief, in our joy, held by a larger love. So we will also drop a final stone into the bowl to represent all of the joys and the sorrows left unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. May all be held in the heart of love. Dear ones, as we enter into a time of prayer and meditation, I'm just going to invite you to kind of rock with me a little bit. To move your body back and forth just a little bit. To be able to rock and sway from wherever you are. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or at home. Just as most of us were rocked as children, as this world continues to move and rock us ever so gently, this motion connects us and opens us up. And so let's just rock just a little together. This motion connects us and opens us up to the ancestors of our lineage, of our choice, of our hearts, of our spirits. Sweet love, felt through the ages, residing in the rocking of our bodies, residing in the very bones of us. Connect us in this moment, that none may remain separate. Dissolve the walls of illusion, that we remain separate from one another. Help us to tear down these walls. Remind us that our lives cannot happen in isolation. That we are connected to each person in this room, in our days, in our lives, in those places we call home. Sweet love, larger than us all. Hold us here. Hold us in our worth and dignity. Hold us in the roles we occupy in the lives of others and in our own lives. Sweet kin, dear ancestors, we give thanks for every sacrifice you have made to make this day, this moment, this breath, this miracle possible. Ancestors, wake us up. We are listening to where you are calling our hearts, our spirits, to the relationships you lovingly crafted for us before we were born, to the path you have carved out that we are constantly co-creating. Love, guide us, call us, show us, be with us. With hearts open, we are here. With hearts open, we are connected. With hearts open, let us take a moment to listen in the silence to where love is calling us. Amen. Blessed be and may it be so. There are mornings when I just want to remain in the silence with you all forever. But here we are. Let us join voices in singing our hymn of contemplation from our seats. Hymn number 1068, Rising Green, a song of spring.
So
This is our story. This is our song. Our story from this morning of our dreams being planted and growing with care and love and attention. And not just one single tree, but a forest of trees, a community, if you will. I have to tell you, it is such a joy to be here with you all this morning. A joy each and every Sunday morning to see love made manifest in this world, through this community, in this space, in this place. Through the spaces and places we hold for one another, your favorite spot in the pew, your face appearing on the Zoom screen, the empty chair filled with someone new to this community, through the ways we prepare for one another in programs and in our choir, and with the coffee hour to follow this service. These are all acts of love, all acts of service, done out of the love for this place and love for one another, even love for the people this community has yet to meet. Those of you who are new here and those who will be new to come. It inspires me each Sunday when I walk in to our Clara Barton Lounge off of the entrance off of our parking lot and see our neighbors gathered in the Clara Barton Lounge before the service. When I hear about what our Justice Initiative, Housing for All, is up to this week, when we challenge each other to learn and grow and to play a part in creating justice for all, love is the fuel that powers all of it. Dear ones, this church has big dreams. I don't know if you had heard, but this church has big dreams. Dreams of building beloved community right here in downtown Rochester. Dreams of growing the love of this church through welcoming more people in and through increasing our service to our community. We have dreams of an expanded music program to offer an even broader diversity of music, and dreams of continuing a robust online ministry where the people who join in on Sunday morning from home or for wherever they are traveled are welcomed and included. We've got big dreams. And at the center of all of these dreams is love. A love that has been passed down through generations of people who have gathered as Universalists here in our city of Rochester to this community of Unitarian Universalists. A love that has been felt from the divine as well as from the people who have filled these pews through the ages and the people sitting here right now. And this love is again calling our names. And we are again hoping to answer the call. The truth of this morning and this moment, and probably each and every moment this community has existed, is that we are going to need everyone in here in order to answer the call of love. In order to allow love to call us on to the future we are dreaming about, we are going to need everyone in here and everyone who will be coming through these doors. We are going to need your truth, your vision, your presence, and yes, your generosity to make all of these dreams happen. It's not just about keeping the lights on or keeping this church running. That is not just solely what we are called to here today. No, we have big dreams and a big love and new ways that love is calling this community to change and to shift and to transform yet again. To live into this future, to live into those dreams, we are going to need everyone here to commit to this congregation and to financially commit to this congregation. A commitment that matters to you, no matter how small or how great, but a commitment made out of love for the present and for the future of First Universalist. What we give to, what we commit our money to shows what we value. Our bank statements or Venmo transactions list or paper trail of cash spent show what matters to us. I know that for me, having a stable place to live is something I value highly. Having meals out with friends to connect and healthy food to care for my body is something I value very much. If you look at my bank statements, which I did in order to prepare for this morning, much of what I am spending my money on is home and food. And I have places where I make contributions because love has called me to do so. Justice organizations, community groups, and First Universalist Church. I support our church financially because I believe in the power of human community. Because I have felt the love here, and because First Universalist is making an impact on the lives of the people both within and beyond these walls. To support this place means you are a part of it. You are integral to First Universalist, whether you have just gotten here or you have been here for over 50 years. And your financial commitment, your pledge means you are ensuring that the love felt here, today, right now, in this moment, will continue to be felt for the generations to come. Like in our story this morning, your presence here and your gifts ensure that we can plant the forest of trees we hope to plant and tend them through the generations, rising green to greet a new day. I want to invite you just for a moment here to think of a time when you have felt connected at First Universalist Church. Perhaps when you have felt the love of this place, the love of someone who was here, or the love of the divine, or even when you felt more connected here to your own love of self. Take a moment. Think of a time when you were reminded you are lovable here in this space, or even a time you were called to bring love and connection to another person. And if you're here for the first time, please hold the hopes for love and connection that you have brought here with you this morning. Perhaps just what got you out the door or onto your computer screen. So let's take a moment to just hold when we have felt loved and connected here. or even to just hold the hope. Can you feel it? I can feel it looking out on you all this morning. And so I want to invite you to turn to your neighbor right in this very moment on your one side and to affirm to them that they are loved here by saying, "You are loved here." If you're joining us online, type it in the chat. And then I want to invite you to turn to your other neighbor on the other side to affirm your own lovableness and say, "I am loved here." And please type it in the chat if you're joining us online. You are loved here. I am loved here. No matter who you are or where you have been in your life, no matter what you have done or however imperfect you have been, let that list of things that comes up in your mind go this morning. You are loved here. I am loved here. We are loved here. Love is at the center of all that we do. It is who we are, and it is the force that calls upon us to live our best lives, to aspire to our highest selves. This love that we are affirming for one another is the love that called together our ancestors, the people who founded this community, a people who could not believe in a God that would inspire fear and hatred, who would damn them to hell if they didn't follow certain rules or act in particular ways. Those ancestors knew that the divine was a loving force for good in the world, which was counter to much of what of Christianity and what the church communities that surrounded them at the time had to say. So people began gathering here in Rochester as early as 1823, right, Michael? I think so. And officially in 1846. And they made space for a love larger than themselves to be felt and experienced and worshiped amongst them. Over the course of time, over these last 200 years, these ancestors came and went. People died. New generations were born. Sometimes the numbers of folks here in the pews waxed and waned, but the love was the through line. A love so powerful, it still calls us together today. Though it may not be solely the love of God that calls us on, though for some of us it is, it may also be the love of people, the love of the earth, the love of spirit, the love of our families, the love of one another, the love of ourselves. We continue to listen to what love has for us. We continue to pause here in the silence, to heed the stories, to join voices in song, to find stillness as well as laughter, all in service to how love calls us on. All in service to the life love calls each one of us to lead, and to the collective call love has for us as a community. We have placed our trust in love for all of these generations, and we will continue to do so, however imperfectly, however heartbreaking, however beautiful, however sometimes costly. Love calls us on, and love will keep calling us on. May we open our hearts and listen to what love has in store for us. And may we make the commitments that help us live out love's call in the world. Amen. Blessed be. And may it be so, dear ones. When your stewardship team and I were thinking through a theme for this stewardship campaign, we had a lot of love in that room. And I was thinking about this song, this hymn, Life Calls Us On. I was specifically thinking about how love calls us on, but actually the title of it is Life Calls Us On. And it's words by Kendall Gibbons, music by Jason Shelton. You have the smallest print version of it in your order of service this morning. If you didn't bring your magnifying glass to church, I believe the lyrics will be up here on the screen. But we wanted to make sure that you had the music, because this is not a song in our hymnals, yet this is one that has become central to Unitarian Universalists gathering across our country and across our world. So I want to invite you now to join us in singing Life Calls Us On. Please rise in body or in spirit and let us join hearts and voices together.
That we journey not alone.
As we remain standing to extinguish our chalice flame this morning, let us read together the words printed on our screen and in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. Dear ones, I want to invite you to place a hand over your heart yet again, to feel this love here inside of you, inside of your chest, inside of your being. Take a moment to look around at those here in this space, these pilgrims you journey with, those whose love is felt and affirmed here. You are loved here. I am loved here. We are loved here. May love continue to call us on. And may we know that we ourselves are loved. And go and be that love in the days, moments, weeks, hours ahead. Dear ones, love calls us on. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.